I'm Mantastic and Fantastic, and today I'm going to be discussing the new changes that are happening to Green Odin and Odin Dragon. So, just a little bit of a background for Green Odin. He was one of the oldest Godfest exclusives ever released in Puzzle & Dragons, and he did have some glorious times in the very, very dark days of PAD when there was 10-minute stamina, and grind/tank teams of 0 attack multipliers reigned supreme. And at the time, he was able to reduce all incoming damage by 80% if you were full health. Now, this was fantastic when bosses didn't have multi-hit mechanics, and you could essentially just tank the hit and have auto-heal leaders such as Amaterasu heal you back to full health. This actually was reasonably effective for the earlier descends. However, over time, bosses started having multi-hit functions, and it completely obliterates the shield because it'll mitigate the damage on the first hit, but every subsequent hit afterwards, you'll be taking the full brunt of it, and you will lose. However, Gung-Ho has been giving buffs periodically to Green Odin, like Metatron, who is still not good, but he now has some capabilities as a leader, but the active skill has been upgraded for both Odin Dragon and Green Odin, so it's worth taking a look at and seeing if it's worth your investment in time. So, the video is going to go here on the post. And Green Odin at a glance. So he has high base stats and very utility or defensive-oriented awakenings, like the double skill boost, the bind immunities, and 2,000 worth of auto healing. However, what has changed is he now has a 5-turn bind clear and 5 turns of awoken skill bind clear. Now, that is significant because no other card in the game can do this currently aside from Odin Dragon, where you can remove this awoken skill binds, and that becomes important later on as I'll go into more detail. So, currently Green Odin's leader skill blocks 80% of incoming damage if your health is at full, doesn't protect you against multi-hits, and in addition he has a scaling attack multiplier where you match 4 plus Wood Orbs, and if you match 8 plus, you get 3.5 times attack. Not too shabby, considering you can mitigate damage. So, what are the pros of Green Odin? There are high base stats. You have an active skill that has a triple part function. It can heal you, it reduces your binds on your team, as well as clearing awoken skill binds. Green Odin is also bind immune, so that's important because you want to have your bind immune person able to clear binds. He also grants 2,000 worth of auto heal, which is actually quite significant on Heart Cross teams where they have effectively 4 times the health and recovery with the damage reduction. In addition, he can pair Awoken Liu Bei to form a 28 times attack team with the damage mitigation, so it can help you survive preemptives if you can compensate for the lower damage. And his active is very unique, like you can clear binds and awoken skill binds. And he can be used as an assistant through skill inheritance, which means that you can put his active onto a different card to help your teams. And of course abs, because it's Abdin. So, what are the cons? He has no offensive awakenings, and he has limited uses outside of his active because his body's not, his body is great, but the actual Puzzle & Dragons body is not the best because it has no offensive capabilities. And there's also no Lifeguard Odin in the Pad Island machine. They missed a glorious opportunity. So, conversely, Odin Dragon received some buffs, he gained some more health, he has almost the same awakenings, but 1,000 worth of auto heal over Green Odin, so 3,000 in total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah, there's 6. And he fully recovers all awoken skill binds. That is pretty fantastic. Granted, the 5 turns is usually significant as of this point now, but in the future we might have things that last for more than 5 turns. And he also provides haste, as well as a 50% of your base health heal. As a leader, you should really not use Odin Dragon, it's just insignificant. He's like Green Odin, but worse, which is confusing. So, what does Odin Dragon have? He has high base stats, he has probably the best active in the game for bind clearing, as it gives you a huge amount of heal, haste, bind recover, and awoken bind clear. He's also bind immune, 3,000 auto heal. He has the unique active, and as I mentioned, is the most powerful active in the game. He does have abs, kind of. It's a weird dragon. Maybe I'm going to take that out. I don't know. So what are the cons of Odin Dragon? He has no offensive awakenings as well. He costs 300,000 monster points. That's a really high cost for just a slightly better active. Like, it is a better active, but is it justifiable by 300,000? That's really up to you. And he has just as little uses pretty much as Green Odin, but he's slightly an upgraded version of Green Odin. And perhaps his biggest downside is you cannot use him as an assistant for skill inheritance because he did not come out of the rare machine. So you can't inherit Odin Dragon's amazing active. So how valuable is this new Awoken skill bind clear? Well, we only have a few cards in the game, or a few bosses in the game, that actually bind your awakening skills at this point in time. So those include Lakshmi in Arena 2+, Folklore in various dungeons, and Lynthia as well in various dungeons. Now, Lakshmi also binds your actives as well as the Awoken skills, so you actually can't do anything about it, so it doesn't matter. Folklore is basically annoying to semi-dangerous depending on the dungeon, but he's stallable. You can get through it. It's only 3 turns as well. He's not the most dangerous thing in the game. However, Lynthia is quite deadly. Like, even in her own descent, she's quite scary because she'll bind your Awoken skills, she hits incredibly hard, changes orbs on the sides to various colors. It's hard to heal up because you don't have your awakenings or time extends, and she makes poison rain down from the sky. All in all, she's very scary, very dangerous, and being able to circumnavigate that Awoken skill bind can be beneficial. Now, you can always delay her with someone like Orochi. However, not all teams can accommodate Orochi, nor will he be available necessarily through skill inheritance because he has a very long cooldown. So it may not be as viable an option to bring Orochi or an Orochi delay just because you may not be able to fit it on a certain card that you want. And this is where the Awoken Bind skill clear comes in handy because it's a 9-turn versus 15-turn cooldown, and that means you have basically 6 less turns to stall or 12 in co-op. And you are able to clear the binds of Green Odin's active, the Awoken binds, and then deal your full damage and burst it down on turn 1. You don't have to dance around or stall or take a chance. Because even if you do delay, you have a very narrow window of opportunity to kill her because your awakenings will come back and then you just try and kill her in that one turn. What if you're unsuccessful? You're going to lose. So it's a nice option, and Green Odin is actually much more easily inherited than Orochi. Things to keep in mind. And furthermore, Lynthia does appear in the Special Descend Rush and Ultimate Descend Rush. And those two are incredibly challenging dungeons, and her appearing in those is very dangerous. And like I said, you may not be able to use Orochi because you may not stall, because those dungeons are just go, go, go. Things get hard. You'll probably die if you try to stall. And perhaps these buffs are a foreshadowing of what is to come in Puzzle and Dragons. We don't know what the next wave of power creep in terms of boss mechanics are, and this can be just preparing us ahead of time so we can have something to work with when those new bosses and mechanics hit or go live. So just something to consider, and especially in Green Odin, it might be worth just investing in him on the side just in case you can benefit from him. So basically in conclusion, Green Odin and Odin Dragon are now stronger than ever before because they fulfill a unique role that no other card can do. They're able to clear Awoken skill binds, and that is unique and very powerful because no one else can do it, and it makes them more valuable whether you use them as subs or as an inheritance through for Green Odin. Now, let me know what you think about these buffs. Are they warranted? Does it give more value to Odin and Green Odin and Odin Dragon? Do you plan on investing in them further or even purchasing Odin Dragon? Let me know what you think in the comments below, and happy puzzling!